Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 9. I am Janice Cobham, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari returns from London after 2 weeks. Head of Ukraine Supreme Court detained in $2.7 million graft probe. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Hello and welcome once again to Spectrum News at 9. First in the news tonight is a report that President Muhammadu Buhari has returned to Abuja after attending the coronation of King Charles III in the United Kingdom. The president's aircraft, which landed this evening at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, had departed the nation's capital on the 3rd of May for the ceremony, which took place on the 6th of May 2023. President Buhari was scheduled to return to the country after the coronation ceremony in London. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has reappointed Emeka Ngige as chairman of the Council of Legal Education (CLE), aside from Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) nominees as members. Ngige disclosed the reappointment while addressing the valedictory meeting of Council of Legal Education at the Buhari headquarters of Nigerian Law School. According to him, the reappointment is for another 4-year tenure. Away from that, the Federal Executive Council has approved the establishment of 36 special meeting. The Minister of Education, Adamu, said with the approval, there are now 72 private universities in the country. Adamu stated that the approval was given considering the importance of education in bolstering the economic fortunes of the country. Moving ahead now, the federal government has said that it was developing a comprehensive guide for the incoming administration of Bola Tinubu on how to manage the removal of subsidy on premium motor spirit (PMS), popularly called petrol. It also insisted that the government of the outgoing President Muhammadu Buhari had done excellently well in the management of fuel subsidy, despite revealing that Nigerians spent over 13 trillion naira subsidizing PMS between 2005 and 2021. Speaking at the unveiling of the 2022 Education Bus, Mustafa said the federal government had been following the debates around subsidy removal by citizens. He said some of the debates include the need to fix Nigeria's refineries and the creation of visible safety net programs to reduce the impact on the poor and vulnerable in the society, especially workers. To foster this, the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority (NSRA) and the National Council on Climate Change (NCC) signed a memorandum of understanding in Abuja to address climate risk. Speaking on the agreement, strategy is to actively build strategic partnerships with relevant organizations to support climate change actions and Nigeria's energy transition ambition of achieving net zero emissions by 2060. He added that the agreement with NCCC was one of the strategic steps taken to meet NSIA's social impact goals and sustainability commitments. And elsewhere now, the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy has inaugurated NICOM Health, a platform to transform the healthcare sector in the country. The Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Pantami, unveiled the Nigerian Communication Satellite Service, which provides a platform for Nigerians to book appointments, receive medical advice or recommendation, and consult with physicians and other healthcare practitioners from their homes offices, schools, and localities. Bantami said the platform would promote a more efficient and effective healthcare system that could be accessible to all Nigerians. Meanwhile, the federal government has approved the total sum of 19.24 billion naira for the training of 50,000 non-graduate N-Power beneficiaries and the procurement of taxiway lighting system in the Port Harcourt in Gombe State and the furnishing of the 10-story headquarters of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency located in Victoria Island, Lagos. The Ministers of Humanitarian Affairs, Social Development and Disaster Management, Sadiya Farouk, and her counterparts in the Ministries of Aviation, Education and Water Resources revealed this to journalists after an extraordinary meeting of the Federal Executive Council presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the State House, Abuja. She added that the Life Skills Acquisition Program had been on since the inception of the N-Power program in 2016, and the third batch of beneficiaries. The federal government has described the bill currently being considered by the National Assembly seeking to restrict the migration of Nigerian doctors to climes perceived to be greener pastures as unworkable. The Minister of Labour and Empowerment, Chris Ngige, President Yemi Osinbajo at the State House, Abuja, responding to a threat by resident doctors to embark on a 5-day warning strike over perceived attempts to ground medical and dental graduates nationwide for 5 years before being granted a practicing license. Ngige said the bill negates extant labor laws. Ngige added that the consideration by the National Assembly runs contrary to the laws of the land that have established a progression in the practice of medicine. And that the national carrier Nigerian Air will begin operations before the present administration rounds down. Sarika made this known while briefing newsmen at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The minister noted that the aviation leasing company has established and approved by the Federal Executive Council as part of the administration's roadmap, adding that operations in civil aviation will have access to aviation equipment at affordable rates within the country. We move now to the Red Chambers, where the Senate has asked the clerk on candidacy in presidential, governorship, national and state assemblies and local government councils elections. According to the Senate, the CNA should transmit a constitutional alteration bill number 58 to President Buhari for assent in line with the provisions of the Authentication Act. The resolution of the Senate clerk to transmit to the President Constitution Amendment Bill number 46, which seeks to include the presiding officers of the National Assembly and the membership of the National Security Council. According to reports, the two proposals were part of the constitutional alteration bills transmitted to state houses of assembly for concurrence last year. Meanwhile, the Senate has begun the screening of the nominees of President Muhammadu Buhari for the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC). President Buhari had last Senator Ahmed Lawan, who read the letter of President Buhari, said that the nominees are for Delta, Edo, and Imo State. On electoral matters now, the Independent National Electoral Commission today swore in a reappointed Resident Electoral Commissioner Mahmouda Isa for a second and final term. This was contained in a statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Rotimi Oyi. On security issues now, the Department of State Services, DSS, has pledged to work with other security agencies to ensure the country is safe during the transition period. This is coming after a joint operation by states. A statement by the spokesperson for the DSS, Peter Afunaya, disclosed that a terrorist with a suicide jacket reportedly blew himself up while 3 were arrested and 2 suicide jackets were recovered from them. Afanaya added that items recovered. We move now to financial crime, where two officers of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, have been arrested for killing their colleague over valuable items and properties seized from a suspect in detention. The commission, in a statement issued today, said the arrested staff were stationed at its Sokoto Zonal Command. The said officers, Assistant Superintendent Akpata Odunayo and Inspector Ogbuji Tochukwu, allegedly conspired and inflicted heavy injuries on their colleagues, Inspector Abel Dixon, who later died at the hospital on May 7. The executive culpable homicide has been filed against the duo. The late officer was buried on Saturday, May 13, 2023 in Jos Plateau State. And back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Dom Emmanuel today inaugurated the 16.71 kilometers Abag Ifya Ikpe Mbareyo Ikod Abiken. During the event, the governor again reiterated that the project was in fulfillment of his promise to ensure that the rural areas are linked up with the urban areas for the overall development of the state. Our correspondent has more details.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Dom Emmanuel has again appealed to the people of the state, especially the youths, to protect government property sited in their areas. Governor Emmanuel, who made the peanut plantation worth millions of naira at Eastern Obolo by suspected youths of the area, noting that the issue might lead to loss of thousands of jobs and affect the supply of raw materials to the coconut refinery in the area.
Today, even with all this development we are trying to put on ground, people are trying to destroy what we put on ground. We woke up this morning and the entire coconut plant destroyed all those coconut plantations. Multi-million-dollar projects, all gone. And we have a refinery. So, when I tell people how difficult it is to develop Africa, you now understand what I mean.
The governor, who however thanked the people of Obotakara and Ikadekpene for providing a conducive environment for the contractor to complete the road project on schedule, said the construction of the region to thank the people of the area for their support over the years and promised to continue to work for the people of the state till the last day of his administration.
All of you, various sociocultural groups, the men, the women, the youths, the students, the press, and all those who have made this day a huge success. I think this is one project commissioning that we are attending, and we see youth in this number.
Earlier in their goodwill messages, Senator Emmanuel Ibogasian, the paramount ruler of Obotakara Okuku Walmo Diaka, and the State House of Assembly member Idonsim Tekwere all thanked the governor for his qualitative 11-1 Abak Ifya-Ikpe Mbareyo Ikorobiasom Core Road with a 2.1 outfall drains, initiated and completed by the Governor Dom Emmanuel-led administration, links several communities in Ikadekpene and Obotakara local government areas of the state. In Uyo, Jane Uwa.
Society have been advised to focus on their needs to be happy, healthy, and valued in the family and community. Speaking with Spectrum Television, founder and president of Open Forum Care of Humanity Foundation, Citizen Matthew Kofi O'Connor, laid emphasis on the challenges being faced by the boy child while growing to a more tender age, saying that every boy child needs a role model to survive in the present economy where things are difficult.
I would want to be very specific about the boy child now. And then there were challenges, yes. But we had people you could look up to. You had role models. There's something about boy child or children. They just have to have role models. But in a society that has now been plagued with what I would call insatiable quest for wealth, material things, people flaunt wealth without any source of livelihood, without providing sadly, it's not even growing better. So you even have little boys becoming breadwinners, little boys becoming warlords. So the boy child has been a victim of, call it, humanity. There should be a level of protection.
He lamented the present insatiable quest for wealth by the boy child as a setback, stopping them from achieving their goal in the family and society. O'Connor said the boy child has been a victim of humanity, where protection given to the girl child is needed for a boy child to help him thrive. He called on the government.
So, society that has been completely ravished by the mentality of, if you are not measured by the car you drive, you are not measured by the house you live, you are not worth anything. You must have a fat bank account. It doesn't matter how you get it. Not this very dispensation, but since it started. Yahoo boys, we now also hear of Yahoo girls. We have Yahoo Plus and Yahoo Plus Plus having to do with rituals. It's there everywhere. And what motivates them? What motivates them is the wealth politicians flaunt without doing anything. You now talk about courtism. Even though girls are in there too, but majority are boys.
To raise awareness on the need to protect the boy from harmful societal influences similar to Save the Girl Child. And still to come in the news. WTO DG Okonjo-Iweala caution. Many thanks for still being there. Now to the rest of our stars. Moving now to Africa, where a Tunisian court has reportedly sentenced opposition leader Rached Ghannouchi to a year imprisonment. Reports say the Ennahda party leader is a critic of President Said Kais and has been detained since last month after being arrested for allegedly plotting against state security and incitement. According to reports, Ghannouchi denied the allegations, refusing to appear before the judges who sentenced him in absentia. And still in Africa now, where Sudan military leader Abdel Burhan has reportedly sacked the acting interior minister and the police chief Anan Umar. In a statement now, Burhan named Khalid Muyi as the news, dismissing the governor of the central bank and 2 foreign ministry diplomats. According to reports, since the fighting erupted on 15 April, the police have been in active conflict-hit areas, including the capital, Khartoum, which has resulted in alleged lawlessness in the country. Meanwhile, Eritrea's President Isaias Afwerki, who is on a rare visit out of his country to the people's hero in Tiananmen, became the focus for large-scale protests for greater political freedom. In the meantime, Libya's eastern-based parliament has voted. Chaga took the post last year, but has been unable to support. To Senator Sonko, he is head of Sonko's scheduled for a week. His allies say the case is a police officer. Elsewhere, in the Shire River, about 37 people going to the bribery scheme. The prosecutor. The announcement comes as Ukraine criticized Georgia to isolate the Kremlin. The world is isolating Georgian territory. Russian President Seun lethal companies would not to provide lethal and the international community. 10 people have died in the Wellington neighborhoods. Meanwhile, the cause of the fire has been alarming, according to sets across Europe. System and extensive mischievity to press charges against him valid. Business and stock market stars here.
Of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Ogonji-Iweala, induction for newly elected government of resources. She's 23. The debt to GDP ratio has almost doubled from the burden of debt servicing golden industry operators, particularly large consumers from fuel after the petroleum motor spirit at the Bristol Palace Hotel in Kano on Monday. Ahmed, who was represented by the Executive Director Distribution, embraced the use of gas, which has been designated as Nigeria's transition fuel. Next, climbed 188.04 basis points to close 21% improvement in turnover and 2% improvement in deals. The market cap in Nigerian stock market and 19 losers. Nigerian breweries led the gainers with 9.97% share price appreciation of their price appreciation of 9.63% at ₦1.69 per share. United Bank for Africa recorded the highest volume of 94.3 million traded shares. This is all on business news. I'm back to Janice Cobhams for the rest of the news.
Many thanks, Blyden Ukem. And still to come in the news. Samuel Chukwueze celebrated at Villarreal. Just stay with us. Many thanks for still being there. Now to the rest of our stories. In health now, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors (NARD) today formally served notice of strike to the federal government through the Minister of Health, warning that it cannot guarantee further industrial harmony should government fail to address the issues raised before May 29, 2023. In the letter tagged Notice of Strike Action, jointly signed by the President of NARD, Dr. Innocent Orji, and Secretary General Dr. Chikezie Kelechi, the duo recalled that NARD had issued a two-week ultimatum. And still in health, the World Health Organization has called for caution in using artificial intelligence-generated large language model tools to protect and promote human well-being, human safety, autonomy, preserve public health. The Global Health Body, in a press statement, said it is imperative that the risk be examined carefully when using LMMS to impose settings to protect people's health and reduce inequity. WHO also noted that prescriptors' adoption of untested systems could lead to errors by health workers, cause harm to patients, erode trust in AI, and thereby undermine or delay the potential long-term benefits and uses of such technologies around the world. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization (WHO) has warned against the use of non-sugar sweeteners (NSS) for weight loss or to reduce the risk of non-communicable diseases. The global health body, in its new guideline on NSS, stated that the recommendation was based on findings of a systemic review of available evidence, noting that the findings suggested that the use of NSS does not confer any long-term benefits in the reduction of body fats in adults or children. According to the guidelines, results of the review also suggest that there may be potential undesirable effects from long-term use of NSS, identifying some to be increased risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and adult mortality. It's now over to Isaac for trending sports stories. To stay with us.
Well, thank you very much, Janice. In sports, Spanish La Liga club Villarreal has celebrated Nigerian winger Samuel Chukwueze for his milestone 200 appearance for the club. In honor of the feat, Villarreal president Fernando Roig presented him with a commemorative shirt alongside other players who achieved landmark appearances. Recall that Chukwueze hit the landmark appearance for the for the Yellow Submarines when he came on as a substitute in the 4-2 victory against Espanyol. Chukwueze, who's 23, went into the history books as the youngest player in the history of the club to achieve the remarkable feat. The Super Eagle joined Villarreal in 2018 after being followed by the club for his performances to help Nigeria win the 2015 FIFA Under-17 World Cup. While Villarreal paid tribute to Samuel Chukwueze for reaching 200 appearances for the club, Parejo, Yeremi, and Capo presented with a commemorative shirt to celebrate their 100 appearance for the club. Also, we talk in football. The Women's Champions League final between Barcelona and Wolfsburg has been sold out, the first to do so since 2010. UEFA said more than 34,000 tickets have been sold for the match at Eindhoven's PSV Stadium on the 3rd of June. It will be Barcelona beat Chelsea and Wolfsburg defeated Arsenal in the semi-finals. Barca winners in 2020-21 season are through to the 4th final in 5 seasons, while two-time champions Wolfsburg have not won the Champions League since defending the title back in 2013. They met in the Champions League semi-finals last year, watched by a record 91,640 fans at the Nou Camp. Sunday's Women's FA Cup final Wembley, when Chelsea beats Manchester United, had a crowd of 77,390 fans. We'll talk in tennis. Defending champion Novak Djokovic reached his 17th successive Italian Open quarterfinal with a 10th victory over British #1 Cameron Norrie. The 35-year-old Serb, who will be replaced as world #1 by Carlos Alcaraz next week, won 6-3, 6-4 in Rome. The mood in a techie encounter worsened in the second set when Norrie smashed an overhead into the ankle of Djokovic, who had already given up the point. Djokovic faces Danish 7th-seed Hogeron in the last 8. The Serb's preparations for the French Open has been disrupted by injury, but he is finding form in time for his bid for a 23rd Grand Slam singles title when it starts on 28 May. Having delayed the start of the match for a few minutes while he was in the treatment room, Djokovic then wasted no time in racing to a 3-love lead and was not even held up by an early collision with the clock at the side of the court. Well, finally, let's talk about mixed martial arts. Former UFC heavyweight champion in January, after the two parties failed to agree on a new contract. The move represents a significant coup for the PSL, with Ngannou regarded as one of the world's best heavyweights. Ngannou will compete in the PFL's new pay-per-view superfight division. The superfight division differs from the regular seasonal format, with fighters competing in one-off events and earning 50% of revenue from their fight. Other fighters signed to the division include two-time lightweight champion Kayla Harrison and YouTube star Jake Paul. Ngannou spent 7 years in the UFC, winning 12 of 14 fights, and left the promotion as reigning champion He last fought in January 2022, defending his title in a unanimous decision win over Cyril Gain before a knee injury kept him out of the remainder of his contract. He was then stripped of the title upon his departure from the UFC. Well, that's it on sports. My name is Isaac. Well, back to you, Janice.
Many thanks, Isaac, for that sports update there. And now to entertainment. On our entertainment news, a magistrate court in Yaba has granted bail to Afrobeat musician Seun Kuti. The defendant is expected to produce two sureties who own landed properties in Lagos State. Magistrate Adiola Olatubosun also ordered police to complete their investigation within 48 hours. Seun was charged with assault on a police officer, an offense contrary to Section 356 of the Criminal Code Act. The police prosecutor, S.A. Adebese, had prayed that the court remand the defendant for 21 days. The counsel said the 3 weeks would allow the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, DPP, to prepare legal advice. But the defense counsel, Adeyinka Olumide Fusika, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Seun, opposed the plea. In his argument, Olumide Fusika begged the court not to remand his client, adding that he was not aware of an application to that effect. And still on entertainment now, Nigerian singer Joseph Akinwale, popularly known as Joe Boy, is set to release his highly anticipated sophomore album. Reports say the album, titled Body and Soul, has a track list of 15 songs, including previously released songs like Body and Soul, Contour, and Duffel Bag. The Nigerian singer features a number of artists, including CK and Oxlade, both of whom have recorded huge international success. According to reports, the Body and Soul album is set for release on May 17. Big Bay, popularly known as Irish Star, has been included in this year's 21 Under-21 ranking by American music magazine Billboard. This was made known in the 2023 list released via the Billboard website. Reports say Star made the charts by garnering 138.2 million on-demand streams in the U.S. And lastly, in the news tonight, 24 hours after breaking the Guinness World Record, a plot of land located in Wana Court Green Estate, Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. Managing Director of the firm, Gideon Ekanam, announced the donation in a statement on his Twitter handle, noting that the now popular Nigerian chef is worthy of the land gifts because she has become a uniting force in Nigeria. He added that Akwa Ibomites exorbitantly celebrates her extraordinary achievement in recognition of the remarkable feats. And that's all we have for you tonight. Do well to follow us on all our social media handles and ensure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 9. My name is Janice Cobham. Do have a good night.